Acknowledge me.
Leveled by Marvin Constant, the redshirt freshman out of Tuscaloosa. Oh, they go by now. Let him know he don't want to stop. 65 yards as the ball was brought away from the line of scrimmage. Gerald Dixon.
Hey, you forgot my book.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. It's Tuesday night, a little bit later than normal, but that's okay. We're on the airways. The Bama Standard is live. Before we get started, go ahead and start doing your parts. Just hit the like button. Just hit that subscribe button if you're in the live chat. Starting to get a little bit rowdy for us. You got a lot to be rowdy about tonight. We're going to get to that just a little bit later. If you're watching the replay, get in the comment section down below. Show us some love there. Before I introduce my great cast, my all-star crew, we couldn't do it without sponsors. If your business needs a digital presence, full-fledged marketing team, SEO, copyright, or any other business need, these are the guys you need coaching up your business. Contact them today. After the show, of course, let Workspace Pros do their thing for your business. I'm your host, Justin Riley. With me is always 1999 All-SEC linebacker. And when Ric Flair said, to be the man, woo, you got to beat the man. Ladies and gentlemen, he is that man, Marvin Constant.
It's almost that time, baby. Hey, listen, man. We are, 12 days away?
11 days.
11? Ooh. Hey, baby. Time to lock in. It is time to lock in.
I just want to know are you playing? Or are you just watching?
I can. I still got some juice in the tank, baby. I can go now.
He's got a couple of series, but when he misses a tackle, he'll just blame Kenny Smith.
Listen, all I can do is run out the tunnel and then going off to the sideline at the coin toss. That's about all you're gonna get out of me.
So you're the off the bus first guy.
As Dubos was said, you only good for getting off the bus first. Hey, sign me up for that road. That's all I got for you.
And just above him, a man who made his presence known at the University of Alabama and at the NFL. He was an all-SEC DB. He shut down wide receivers on just about every level, and he was done there. He was evaluating talent. He's still evaluating talent. He's one of the best in the game to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Gerald Smoke Dixon.
Justin, you forgot one thing.
What's up?
The pinstripe pimp daddy, baby.
Man, listen. Hey, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it again,
good, baby.
I've only been a part of one locker room that anyone could get with me in these threads. Tyrod Taylor. Other than that, I'm shutting them all down, man. I can put it together.
Hey, pinstripe, you got it, baby. You win.
That's it. Did you walk into rooms with the song playing? You know what's hot out here for a pimp?
Oh, Justin.
I'll come back.
I told you, lead after Suge and Terrence Howard.
Well, probably the most knowledgeable person on this panel who keeps us all straight and the viewers coming in and keeps Paul Feinbaum employed. He's a senior analyst of Touchdown Alabama Magazine and the Bama Standard. Ladies and gentlemen, the illustrious Stephen M. Smith.
As Marvin said, we 11 days, baby. I mean, this defense, this offense, this team. I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
We got a lot to be excited about. The day got started out right with a commitment. We're going to get to that in just a minute. Folks, thank you all for being here tonight. Show your love. If you hadn't hit that like and subscribe button, let's go ahead and do it. In about 30 minutes, we're going to have our special guest tonight, Landon Collins. So y'all get ready for all that. But until then, let's get to all the news that is news, led by none other than Stephen M. Smith and Smoke Dixon. Folks, it is time for the depth chart.
Well, listen, let's hit a 20-second timeout. We're on basketball court right now. Shout out to my man, Courtney Morgan. I am never, ever, when I sit down with you again, unless somebody pays me $826,000 a year, am I picking up that check? Salute, my man. $825, way to put that money in the bag and keep on running. Y'all head coaches out there in program, you better get a good general manager to run your program right. And if you don't, you're in a bad situation. Come up off that millie. That's what we're working towards.
And if you hire Coach G.V. Dixon, you got to hire me as his assistant. We are a package deal, baby.
Man,
I will be your Cedric, okay? I will be your Cedric Burns.
450. 450. I apologize. We get back to our regular scheduled program.
But like you said, Smoke, this was huge for Alabama. This was a big day. The Board of Trustees got this done. They have seen what Courtney Morgan, he has the Midas touch when it comes down to recruiting, when it comes down to scouting, when it comes down to evaluating, most importantly, when it comes down to letting these parents know, your son's in my hands, I got your boy right here. I got him. So what Courtney Morgan's done, he has put not just the Bama Nation at ease, but he's got college football on watch because in recruiting, there's not too many finer than Mr. Morgan. So for Greg Byrne and that Board of Trustees to understand, we got a real diamond here. Let's lock this thing up for some time. Greg Byrne and that Board of Trustees did that.
Man, shout out to USC for getting Courtney Morgan's money up. They tried to go ahead and pull my guy in with Lincoln Riley and that crew, but I think he's loving Tuscaloosa more than he's loving LA.
Yeah.
He knows where that bread's buttered.
I mean, absolutely.
Steven, listen, when God sees that Bama Nation has a need, he hears our cries, doesn't he? And coming on down the aisle was a nice running back, the number 2 running back overall, straight out of Equipment, Mississippi. Tell the folks what we have coming down the track going to be in that backfield come next year.
You got a big-time marquee running back, Akylin Dear, 6'1", 200 pounds. When I tell you, north-south runner, one-cut guy, big in pass catching, huge, versatile back. And you put this young man with Anthony Turbo Rogers out of Carver High School in Montgomery, you got arguably the best running back field for the future. You talk about 2025 and beyond, 2 big-time ballers, 2 big-time playmakers. Shouts out to Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach was Deer's primary recruiter. Freddie Roach's area is Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. That's Freddie's area. Freddie was the primary guy. He did his job. And then shouts out to Coach G, Robert Gillespie, for closing down the deal. That's his position group. He closed down the deal. You get Akylin Dear. And I talked about this throughout the offseason that Dear and Caleb Cunningham were a package deal. You are not going to get one without the other. You get both. And also a special shout out to Daniel Hill, freshman running back from Alabama out of Meridian, Mississippi. Daniel Hill's been huge in getting the Mississippi prospects in this class. Hill played a role in getting both Cunningham and Dear.
Listen, Justin, in the great book of recruiting, verse 5, chapter 1, so one flippeth back. And we got one. We lost one, Mook, but we got one back.
But you know the thing about it, a lot of people will say with all these running backs that we have, you know, the guys that we have now, you know, Justice and all those guys, and then you got, you know, the other guys, the freshmen that just came in this past class, Hill and all these guys, and then you have all these guys committed. You know, they're going to say, well, what does that does for that running back room? For a smart kid, you know what that does? That's less wear and tear on this kid, his freshman and sophomore year. And all he has to have is one breakout year because the running back market in the NFL isn't going to pay like receivers anyway. So, you know, if you're a great running back, you're going to get paid, but not what you used to get paid. So why wouldn't you want to limit the wear and tear on your body, playing just, you know, sparingly probably your sophomore year and then a breakout year your junior year, and you out of there?
Well, Mook, when you look at it, you always want to look at running backs in tandems. And if you're a running back, just like you said, wear and tear, the thing that you want to do as a running back position is create value for yourself. And if you look at the market right now, Christian McCaffrey is the highest paid running back. He's getting paid some receiver money. He's getting paid some running back money. So as a running back, you never just want to look at yourself as just a running back. Just give me the ball, let me go downhill, coach. No, I have to be a 3-down back. I want to be a mismatch in the pass game. When it comes down to blitz pickup, I'm going to put my face in there and knock somebody back. And when it's time to create in the run game, I could do that too. So if you do have 2-3 guys in front of you, what you're doing is just owning up your craft as you get downhill. And Josh Jacobs, one second. Josh Jacobs, to me, is the best one out of all of them. And Josh was the last one to come off that bench.
And you look at the wear and tear, though, very limited in his first few years at Bama. But when he got his shot, he took advantage. and he's still balling in the NFL. You know, the amount of wear and tear you get as a freshman, sophomore, and a junior, that's the equivalent of almost playing in the NFL anyway.
Go ahead, Stephen.
So going back to the guy that flipped from Alabama to Tennessee at the linebacker position, I know people were kind of scared to death, but getting a chance to talk to a lot of my guys in recruiting, that was not a detrimental loss at all. He's a good linebacker, but he's not one of those players that have you go, oh my God, we need him.
Right.
He's not that. He's not a Marvin Constant. He's not that type of an inside linebacker. So I've been saying, you know, the guys that are needs, you need Keelan Russell. You need Dijon Lee. You need some of those kids that are right there. But the linebacker that flipped to Tennessee, that was one that you could have dealt without. So, I mean, Alabama will have that next linebacker getting ready to come in to fill in that spot.
And I know that we're all Bama guys, but just telling you and just speaking of the truth, Tennessee's doing an outstanding job in their strategy in recruiting. They have their NIL and collective and cap. When I say cap, salary cap, and their business part of it, all bottom line and rock solid and ready to go. And again, Tennessee's a good brand.
So no more McDonald's bags?
Listen, money is being straight. Leave my man Pruitt alone. Money is being straight. Pruitt's my man. Shout out to Jeremy Pruitt, big bro.
Yes,
Good coach, very damn good recruiter, one of the best defensive coordinators, one of the best football minds you're getting out there. But hey, listen, he got caught up in a funky situation. But just getting back to task at hand, when we see young people and prospects flip and decommit, understand sometimes they're asked to leave. And when you are asked to leave and when you do leave, you don't see a big stink over it. I'm pretty sure if Bama wants you, they're going to do their darndest to get you. If Tennessee wants you, most likely you ain't flipping because they're going to make sure that you flip on the right side. And that's one time.
I got a question for you, though. You've worked in the front office. So with these teams having an 85 limit on scholarships, 15 guys leave, that's all you can sign. How is NIL impacting what they can sign? Are they able to pay these guys more money to actually compensate for that tuition that would normally be covered on scholarship, but because they're over the number, are they giving these guys extra money to say, hey, we will let you walk on here, but as a part of that, we're going to pay your tuition because we can't put you on scholarship?
Right. So you asked two parts of a question. I'm going to answer the first one. When you look at the 85 and you're talking about NIL and you say, you know what, they have to be within our salary cap. So your collective is going to just get a small number, let's say $10 million that they're going to raise in order to be able to supplement your salary cap of your 85 players. Now, as a general manager, I'm going to say, you know what, I only need to pay 53 because that's all I truly need in order to compete at the highest level. The other guys, they're going to just be happy to be on scholarship. So those guys, you fit in the salary cap of players that need to get paid the proper way. Now, when you have preferred walk-ons, PWO, and you say, you know what, this guy is really a 2-star or a 3-star, but he has a really good chance. Wayne Bacon type. Just like when Wayne came out, Wayne would have been a great PWO that you say, you know what, even though Maryland wants him, we'll go ahead and pay him enough for his tuition, board, room, and everything, plus an extra 5, just to make sure that we sweeten up that pot to negotiate that deal. And so now that when we do have the 110 players, our 110 are really all scholarship athlete and scholarship worthy guys that can help us prepare to win games. And then maybe in 2 years, they'll be ready to play and roll out there and win games for whatever organization. But it ain't no different than, one more second, it don't make no difference in what Nebraska did way back in the day when they used to give their best players walk-on scholarship. So now they can, instead of having 85, they really have 90. And the 5 guys were lights out Trev Alberts type guys.
I want to go back to AK Dear before we get to Steven's second half of the depth chart, which he does have a great topic that he needs to discuss. But what I like about this kid, let's talk about what he does well. First and foremost, what sticks out to me is his physicality. He operates very well when he gets to the red zone. Big physical guy, can plow through the line, dragging defenders with him. But the problem is people think when you say physicality, that automatically equates to him being slow. Not so fast, my friend. This kid's got wheels. When he gets to that edge, he's taking off. He's got burners. Great top end speed, can move in and out of his brakes. It's like a thing of beauty. Love what this kid can do. Can catch the ball out of the backfield. Valuable asset. If I had to compare him I'd say Najee Harris is a good comparison to what this kid can do from what I've seen on film so far. Y'all feel free to weigh in before we switch to the next topic.
Go ahead, Steven.
It's just going to be fun to see, what Dear becomes for Alabama, especially you go ahead and you get him to sign in to this 2025 class. And then, watching what he does in pass pro, watching what he does, catching the ball at the backfield, just as you mentioned, he can drag defenders along with him. But when he gets on the edge, he's got speed. He gets out there on the edge. He can blow by people. So that's going to be intriguing as well, being able to see what Rob Gillespie can do with that kind of time. Because you got to think, this year you're looking at, how much can Justice Haynes do? Does he go off to the NFL after the season? You have to look at the same thing where Jalen Milroe is concerned. And then you bring in an Akylin Dear and an Anthony Rogers for 2025. How quickly can both of those two guys sort of pop off there? But I do like the skill set. I do like the physicality. I like the toughness. But most importantly, I like the versatility that he brings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm with both you guys. Najee in terms of his size and the way that he looks, but Najee didn't have wheels like this guy. Najee could run 4.5, 4.6 type guy. This guy is closer to 4.4 track type runner. Now he's a bigger back, so the only thing that I would, if I had to give him any advice, learn how to not take so many hits. Learn how to make yourself small, deliver blows, but that's not every wall that you see that you need to run through. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you need to knock on the door and slide through it and open the door and get to it, if you guys understand what I'm saying. But the more wear and tear that you take, the more your body gets beat up. And there's times when it's 3rd and 1, 4th quarter, 3rd quarter, yeah, you put your head down and go get the first down. But if there's time to save a little bit of wear and tear in that shoulder, you go ahead and either slide out or just make lesser contact with that defender, or just make contact with one defender. Don't try to take on two. But I do like his skill set. Go ahead.
Tell him to call me. I let him talk to my shoulders, and I promise you, he'll start sliding and getting out of bounds.
All right. I know some folks in the chat and I'm already going crazy. Yes, Justice Haynes is a sophomore, people. I'm referring to after next season. Not this season, after next season is what I was referring to. So people calm down. I know he only.
Come on, Steven. You can't just throw out information without context, sir. You know how our chat is.
Steven, I understand fully what you're saying. And when you look at it, you can't really look at players to be in college for 4 to 5 years if you're truly a talent. And especially if you're in a loaded backfield, a loaded university like Alabama. We don't replace, we reload. So it's like the old days. Remember when Miami had Clinton Portis? Yeah, you had 3 years. Just like Bama did. You got 3 years to get your thing together and get up out the door, because if you don't, that young boy coming.
Yeah,
he's just as good, as not better than you. So you have your time to get on, but you have your window. Graduate in 3.5, but also get out the door and get to the league in 3.
Steven, we talked a little bit last night about things that you wanted to talk about, and one of the things that has been overwhelming is the lack of respect Alabama has been receiving ever since Nick Saban decided to step away from the game. Well, it's time Alabama gets back that respect, and I know you've got layers with this. So what I'm going to do now is I'll turn it over to you and let you explain all the layers of getting back respect and maybe how it was lost, and not just in terms of Saban walking away, but the other things that the casual fan may have missed. So go ahead, brother.
I think the one thing that Alabama is getting back with the respect factor is concerned is that putting fear in the opposing team with its defense. And that second scrimmage, and Marvin's going to love this, that second scrimmage, Kalen DeBoer comes into the press conference and he was like, this was the most physical scrimmage I've been a part of since I've been here. There was some hitting going on. Like, guys were bringing wood, DBs, linebackers. They're laying out tight ends. They're laying out wide receivers. Tackling was great. Pressure was hitting the pocket. And a lot of people were saying, well, does that mean the offense sucks? No. That means it was a give and take on both sides. The first scrimmage was about the offense making plays. The second scrimmage, the defense and Kane Womack, we clapping back at you. We coming right back at you. And that's exactly what happened. And then today, Kane Womack came in there like, yo, for me as the DC, that was a physical scrimmage. Like, guys was hitting. Like, I love that. Like, that brought some excitement. We took it up to another level. We took it up to another intensity out there. And he was like, look now, the tackle was where it needed to be at. The focus was there. The attention was there. We got to build on this even more. But I like what I'm seeing. Like, this is what I want to see from this defense. The execution was where it needed to be. And when it got down to the young defensive backs, Coach Womack was like, look, these guys, they closed the space, they held their leverage, and they had a dominant finish tackling. They had dominant tackles to finish the play. These guys are finishing what they're supposed to do out there.
Well, again, I've always said it, when you simplify that playbook, it goes a long way. So there happens to be a team in the state where I currently live, that's halfway decent. But one of their coaches was giving a press conference yesterday, and he was talking about how they simplified their defense, with Muschamp and all these other guys, how they made it simple for the kids, and that's why they were able to execute so well. And that defense has played at a high level these past few years. And I've always said it, when you got younger kids, the best way to make them play better, simplify it.
Well, let me throw out a little nugget out there, because Saban ain't in the building no more. Saban's playbook is about this daggone thick. Marvin, we've had to run through it and seen it plenty of times. I still got the book somewhere around here. Now, the reason why Kirby and Jeremy and T-Rob were successful defensive coordinators, because when Nick came in the room, they had a playlist of 5,000 defenses to run. When Nick walked out, both coaches took that. Remember that white paper, took it over and just said, okay, listen, guys, these are the 10 defenses we're going to run. And they mastered it. The other ones that were afraid of Nick and didn't want to say that to him, they're the ones that were running 500 different checks, Marvin. But Kirby and Pruitt simplified the defense when they had goons to run it, and that's why you see them getting it done. Georgia's doing the same thing.
That's the unnamed team I was referencing.
Right. Georgia's doing the same thing, but they have a coach or coaches, Glenn Schumann and T-Rob, that understand that it's great to have all these defenses and all these checks. But if we can't execute these checks on a play-to-play basis and our guys can't get it, because the old notion is it's not what the coaches know. It's what the coaches can teach the players and what the players can apply on the field. And if you can't apply it on the field, you're going to have guys running by your 4-3 DBs because he's going to be running at 4-5 because he's still sitting there thinking about what he should do.
Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing, you never want to bog down young players with way too much information. This is not calculus 2, it's football.
Let them eat it.
Pare that thing down as what Kane Womack has done, and let those guys go out there, hunt, eat, fly around the field, and make plays. And that's what Kane has done. Because, I mean, for Kane and Kalen DeBoer, the head coach and the DC, to both get out there and say, hey, that second scrimmage was physical. That there was some thumping, some hitting, some turnovers being created. There was some stuff happening out there on that field. That is what you want to see. You want to get back to seeing stuff happening out there on that field to where that defense knows what it's about, it knows what's playing, it knows how it's playing, and most importantly, the opposition goes, we got to play that? Yeah, that's what you got to play. Mm-hmm. So this is good, not just for the head coach to be able to say this, but for the defensive coordinator, that these players have taken on his personality. They've taken on Womack's personality out there.
And then we all also got to understand that when Nick and Belichick and all those guys were coming up with their great defense, which is good, we huddled, Marvin. We went there, we huddled, the ball was getting snapped at 15 seconds. When you made a motion, I can check to this, we can rebo, limbo, whatever you want to do. But if you're playing against Tennessee, Ole Miss, they're snapping the ball within 8 seconds of the ball being set, not the clock. So you can't make a ton of you can't communicate, especially at the second and third level that you need to. You got to have one word, meaning one thing, and everybody playing fast.
Now, Stephen, one of the things that you were talking about that it was going to add to our respect being returned is, one, we have a coaching staff that are buying into the players And in turn, the players are buying into the coaches, which I feel like in the past, we're here recently. Let's just go ahead and call it what it is. A lot of the coaches who were coming on board as in the turnstile that was our staff, they're just there to pad resumes. They're just there to get that boost, get to that next level, whether it be a head coaching position, the NFL, what have you. And the players knew it. I remember talking to former Alabama offensive lineman Chris Owens. He said that's one of the biggest problems that he had the last year he was there, and then the year before as well, is there was no connection between the players and coaches. And they brought it up to Coach Saban, but they got it kind of blown off just a little bit. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. You've got both sides pouring into each other. If you would, talk about how that factor right there is going to return Bama to being Bama.
Well, you got to have that brotherhood, right? You got to have that. You got to have the players bonding with each other. I mean, Marvin and Smoke can both attest to this. You have to have the players bonding with each other, but most importantly, you got to have those coaches that they have your back also. And you have to have those coaches pour into you as well. And Kalen DeBoer has a staff where these coaches are all about these players. There have been so many moments where, whether it's Coach G, he's got all of the running backs at his house, and he's grilling over there, and all the running backs are over there fellowshipping with him like, my coach got me, I got my coach, I got my boys, we all right here. You know, you got Coach Hitzler with all the safeties with him. You got Coach Morgan with all the corners with him. You even got the special teams coach with all the specialists with him. So everybody's working in unison. And then you got the players. Talk with Tim Smith today. He talked about all the D-line. They all hang out together. They're all playing video games together. They all going fishing together. They all going bowling together. They all doing everything around each other because they understand the best way they're going to get this championship, if you see one, you're going to see all of us. And so it has gotten back to that demeanor of we a team. If you see one of us, all of us is going to be out here.
I have one question for you, Steven.
Okay.
Are they still working those long hours, those coaches? Or has that schedule changed?
I'm telling you, man, with Coach DeBoer, that schedule then tweak some. That schedule then tweak some.
Well, you know, Marvin, you know what? A lot of people, like, it's a misconception that Nick stayed in the building until midnight. No. Nick got out at exactly the same time every night. It's
For
just
real.
Yeah, he got out there exactly. It's just guys just want to always be the last one. It's what coaches try to prove. I can stay longer, I can get in earlier, but it's all about efficiency. How efficient are you when you're getting your job done? And I understand what you guys are saying in terms of coaches were using Alabama to basically catapult their careers. But when you start putting in $750,000, $1 million into it, it now becomes a transaction. Early on, when Nick was rolling and Bam was going, you saw a lot of coaches come through the pipeline of getting developed and learning how to coach and just grinding through the process of it. But once you start losing a bunch of the good coaches, you got to sit back and like, I just got to get the best one that fits us. And as a player, when you're young, you think that coaches are going to stay with you forever. No. If you play real well, you win a bunch of games, understand that your DB coach is probably going to be a defensive coordinator. Once he gets to being a defensive coordinator and you're really successful, there's a likelihood that he's going to become a head coach. So it's just a natural progression of success. And the one and done coaches, not so much that Nick had around there, but everyone knew that when they got in the building, in 2 years, you're going to win, you're going to recruit well, and you're going to get your next job. But I feel what the players are feeling, but it's a part of the business.
And as we wait for our guest to arrive, Stephen, there's another aspect of getting respect back, and that's removing complacency. That's something that's kind of haunted the locker rooms here as of late. You know, they were being told, you're Bama. All you essentially have to do, show up on the field. That's 95% of the battle, and you walk out with the win. You got Vegas putting large spreads based on what Bama used to do. This isn't the same Bama of the 2010s. Things began to change a little bit. These guys now aren't quite as hungry or as driven as those guys in the 2010s. So complacency did sneak its way into the locker rooms and on the field. Talk to me about complacency right now with this new regime. Is that still a thing, or has it completely disappeared?
It's not a thing because you only have a couple of guys on this team with a national championship ring. I mean, you think about that. Malachi Moore is one. Jamarian Latham is one. Quindarius Robinson's one. T.M. Smith is one. Those are the only – think about that. Those are the only 4 players with a national championship ring off that 2020 COVID season. Mm-hmm. Everybody else doesn't have one. So everybody else is they're like, we got to prove that we can do that. So there is a hunger within that room of we haven't won anything as a team. We haven't won anything nationally. We haven't put that stamp on what is our memory of Bama football. We haven't put that championship stamp on there yet. So that's a driven hunger, and not just for the team, but you got to look at the coaching staff. Kalen DeBoer was right there in a championship game just a season ago, but don't you think he wanted to win that? Yeah. So that's a hunger in him. I got to put that stamp on in. Kane Womack, he wants to put that stamp in. Everybody on that coaching staff, they want to put that stamp in on, I'm trying to be a national champion. Now, of course, Freddie Roach was on that 2020 staff that has a championship ring. He's got one. Robert Gillespie's got one. But there are other coaches on that staff that do not have one.
Gerald, I got one question for you. Defense plays well. How long do we keep Womack?
1 year.
Well, he's not lying.
Right, because he has head coaching experience already. So I knew it's going to be a short stint for him at Alabama.
Right, and you're going to have some movements naturally. So that's why you always bring in 2 or 3. See, if I'm if I'm the general manager and I'm hiring a DPP, and my DPP is really talented, Director of Player Personnel is what DPP stands for, I'm going to make sure that the number 3 guy is as ready, because I know that number 2 is going to be out of there once we crush this recruiting class and people see what we're putting out there. So when he's ready to leave, and I'm happy and I want him to leave, because you can't keep good talent forever. You just naturally just bump the guy up. So I know they have a co and a defensive coordinator. So you have someone study. So once that person leaves, that's what Nick did a really good job of. Simply sliding guys in, and your replacement was always in the building.
So with that being said, Smoke, if that were to happen, just hypothetically to Womack, the 2 guys you would look at sliding up would either be Coach Lindquist or Coach Hitzler, who are both operating under that co-DC tag.
There you go. So it's a plan in place for another plan.
Stephen, as we await our guests to arrive, I want to ask one more thing as we are wrapped up fall camp. Essentially, what are your last remaining memories of what we just saw from scrimmages and fall camp that tells you that respect is back? And I'm not just talking about an attitude, but just talk about on the field. That's what people are wanting to see right now. They want the talk to stop. So let the folks know in the chat what's seen on the field that makes you feel good about respect being returned to the Bama name.
I mean, it's just these guys are working. It's not what are we going to do. They're not even talking. Like, the players not even talking. They are just working. They're working, and you're seeing it. You're seeing it from the defensive line. You're seeing it from every position here on this team, and even the young guys. The young guys have picked this up fast. Like, you literally could have a true freshman start at one of these 2 corner spots. You literally could have a true freshman get big or significant minutes here on this defensive line. I mean, you literally could see, a true freshman or multiple true freshmen have a shot there within this offense. So it's not just the fact that they're putting their head down and working, but it's the coaches. They're seeing this is a player-led team. This is not, this is not the coaches leading it. It's these guys, these players out here leading it. All the coaches are doing, they're saying, this guy's stepping up. I like this guy. This guy is this. And the players are not even pumping themselves up. The players just saying, we about to work. Like, they out there working. It's the coaches who are literally doing all the talking right now. And that's what has me excited, because when the players are talking about what they doing, but it's like, you said that last year, you said that the year before. But when it's the players shutting up and grinding, and it's the coaches talking, that's different, because you're seeing the actual product. They ain't talking; they about the action.
Can I play devil's advocate real quick?
This got to translate to the field. Go ahead, Smoke.
Well, you got the suit.
Yeah. All right. When was the last time Bama won the national championship?
2020.
That was 2020.
2020. How many seasons ago was that?
4.
About 3 to 4.
4 years, 3 seasons. So we had Michigan, Georgia, and Georgia winner, right? And Bama, right?
Right.
Yeah. I just think that anyone that believes that Bama gets disrespected, that's a slap in your face, because Bama's still the standard. I mean, they might have rotated with Georgia, but last time I checked, the SEC champions are the Alabama Crimson Tide.
That is correct.
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. The national champions last year was Michigan. The team that came the closest to beating Michigan at the 1-yard line with rollback, slowing it back there, was Bama.
I was just about to say a few bad snaps away.
So I'm going to say maybe a couple of not Nick's best teams, still showed up and almost won a national championship. So I understand that. I guess in the last 17 years, the standard is winning one every other year. But man, anyone that says Bama is needs to get disrespected or is getting disrespected, we just got to get in our lineup and just understand that this is college football and it's parity. And when you have cash and people are playing players, and you have people with higher capital and more revenue and better and bigger collectives, naturally it's going to happen. The days of just going to school and getting developed and getting drafted, everybody can offer you that. Now people can offer you some generational wealth. If you look at it, because there's guys that's getting $1 million to $750,000 just to play for 1 year and haven't earned it yet. So that's kind of balancing out everything a little bit. So I get that. I get we want our respect, but I don't think we ever lost it.
I like the way you finished that segment up. Very nice, sir. Well, folks, the time has arrived. Our guest of honor is here, and there's only one man who can bring a guest onto the stage the correct way, just like a WWE announcer. Stephen M. Smith, go ahead and do your thing. Tell the folks who we got in the building.
Man, we got one of them Louisiana boys. He from the Daddy. From Louisiana, close to that New Orleans area.
Oh,
My man came in. You know, that 2012 class, he came in. You know, that boy was an All-American safety. He used to light you up out there, could light you up in the box, could create them interceptions, did everything you needed him to do. He was a national champion. That 2012 season, the 2-time SEC champion, got a lot of time in that National Football League. And now he out there coaching these kids. We got the man, Landon. Shut your mouth or I'm going to kill you. Collins is in here.
What up, Sci-Fi?
What up, brother?
Not much. Just finished coaching my 13-year football team. Out here just getting it, trying to pass that knowledge on to the younger ones that's going to take it on,
Most definitely. You got some prospects there you want to go ahead and shout out before we get into your segment, sir?
The whole team. It just, how we Bama boys are built up on the standard. So I try to, enforce that here, and then they're listening. They're also, doing that thing. I'm over here in Virginia at Aim High School. I'm coaching the Panthers 13U team. So they're doing a great job. We had our first scrimmage yesterday. They played sound. Got to coach that missed tackling stuff. I'm getting on their behinds behind that. But other than that, they're gonna be a solid group this year.
That's what I like to hear. All right, brother. We're glad that you're taking the time to spend with us. What we like to do is put you on the hot seat a little bit. It's not too bad. We're going to ask you a few questions about your career and then, what you got going on now. So I'm going to pass it around the room first. We'll start with Marvin Constant, then we'll go to Smoke, Stephen, and then I'll have my question.
Got you. Go ahead. Y'all shoot.
All right, so we all know when you're a local kid, from where you're from, it's hard to get away. I know, in most cases, everybody just assumes you're gonna go to that school closest in proximity. And when you don't, there's usually hell to pay. So what was the true fallout from you going to Alabama over that other school in close proximity?
Man, there's a lot. It's a lot. I'll give you a few instances, but dad couldn't get no work for his trucking company that he had going on. Uh, the backlash with my mom saying LSU number 1, and I'm going against my mom and her wishes, and her not, being on. I'm not choosing what my mom should be doing. I'm not following what my mom's saying. Um, what else? I didn't get too much hatred in the school because at the end of the day, nobody wanted to mess with me, so I wasn't tripping on that part. But all the stuff really kind of happened to my parents on the spectrum of like work and jobs and offers and money. So, with the boosters and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a tough situation at that time.
I always tell people they don't understand that pressure that comes with recruiting. They told me
Yeah.
straight up when I almost went to Florida, they said, if you go, you can't come back home, right? I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna do that to my parents.
But what really helped though, what really helped was we didn't take one L to LSU, so I had the right to step into LSU campus or step anywhere where LSU fans was, and they can't tell me nothing. So I was fine with that. Got every win. We got every win.
There it is. All right, now you played with some really good linebackers, and I know
Yeah,
you're really good friends with my man Rag. That's my little brother.
you know it. Coach
So,
Rad.
so you got Raglan, Foster, C.J. Mosley. You got to take one. You got to go in the game with. Who you got?
I gotta take one. I gotta go in the game with.
Yeah.
Good question.
Dang.
That's a good question. That's a good question. That's a good question because they all elite. They all elite. Honestly, I take myself out and put all three in for me. You know what I'm saying?
You answered like a true politician, man. Stay out of DC.
Okay. So Landon. So here we go. The worst moment you got it bad from Nick Saban. Like what was
Oh
that
man,
moment?
Oh.
Yeah.
I got two. I got two. All right. So, the whole LSU number 1, our first day on campus, first day of film for training camp, right? Step into the classroom. Everybody grabs their seats. I'm the newcomer. That's just really almost like my first day there. So I'm the newcomer. Everybody takes their seats. Vinny, Robert Lester, and Haha say, "Here's your chair right here. This is your chair right here." They point at the chair. I think I'm right behind either Haha or Vinny. I can't remember verbatim, but I'm right behind one of those two. And Nick Saban, I don't know if the room is the same. I don't think it's still the same. No, they do it in the big auditorium. But at the time when I entered, we was in that defensive room right there in the back by the running backs coach. So Nick Saban walks in the back with his cup, right? Looks at me. They keep walking, right? Sits down. He does the thing with the cross his leg thing, right? Sits down, cross his leg. Looks at me. He said, "I've been kissing your ass for too long. I can't wait to rip you another one." That's one. In front of the whole defense, the whole secondary. So I'm looking at him like, damn, for real? I mean, I've been, at the end of the day, I wanted to, come to Bama my sophomore year, but I promised my mom I commit at the Underwood camp. So I said, cool, I'll do that. But I kept telling Bama, I'm coming. They didn't, how recruits kids, they could jump from one way to the other. They didn't really trust my words, so I had to wait. So, two, everybody knows Nick Saban is a special teams guy, right? We all know that. Special team is one of the most important things on the field that we need to do, need to contribute to, and to get on the field. All right, so we have practice. I think this is still training camp. This may be week. This is practice 4. This is practice 4. I am the wing. I am the left. Yeah, I'm the left wing, right? Left wing. Never done it. I've done it before. Coach Williams coached me up. I'm doing it perfect. Do my kickback, step out, punch, drive out for 10 yards, right? I did it perfect. I knew for verbatim I did it perfect. But for some reason, Nick Saban ripped me another one. I mean, earful, like right here in my ear, and I'm just like this. I literally almost wanted to cry, but I had to hold that one in. I'm like, what'd he do that for? But what he did was, I figured this out when I became a junior. He came up to me one practice and said, hey, which one of these freshmen you want to pick up on, or we want to pick on? I said, this what you did back when I was a freshman. Who you? So that's a little thing. That's a little insight that he does. And if anybody that's listening, if you was a player, hey, you figure that out at the end of your time going to be there.
Coach
Man.
Saban, one of the funniest guys, man. But if you're not
Oh,
one of his guys, you would never know. But he's a comedian, bro.
correct. Big comedian. Yes, sir.
Hey, Landon, were you at the Bama camp in 2011?
I went to you mean like as a high school student?
Yeah.
I went 11 and 10. I actually went all 3 years.
Marvin, we had him
19
out there at
and
the
11.
Bama camp. We had him at the Bama. We had Marvin and I coached at that Bama camp. We had you out there at that Bama camp that year. I think Coach Saban ripped one of y'all. He either ripped Tyrann Mathieu, he got into one of y'all that day when he was screaming. But one of y'all Louisiana boys got it.
Nah, it wasn't Tyrann Mathieu. It was Tyrann wasn't there. Tyrann was already in college.
Okay, he got one of y'all Louisiana boys.
So at the time it was myself, it was Debo, it was
Was it Bradley Seal?
It was Bradley. No, Bradley was already on the team. Bradley was a year before me. It was Bradley. It was me, Debo. It was another player.
He got in
Dwayne Thomas.
I don't know if you remember, but he lit him up, and I was like,
yeah, he did.
That dude ain't coming to school here.
Nah, he still wanted to. Everybody wanted to play for Saban. It was just, that depth chart is deep.
Yeah,
you got a lot of competition in front you and behind you. So
yeah, no doubt,
it's hard to get over there.
No doubt.
So Landon, I know, man, your physicality is what really sets you apart from everyone else on the field. You were dropping folks, you were sacking folks, and I know you had 1,000 of those things. But for every great hitter, there has to be that one that sticks out the most. Which one is it?
Honestly, as my dog, I look up to him. It was Julio Jones, my rookie year. He ran a dig, and I caught him. Caught him on the dig. We had to watch our weight, our angle, and how we tackle people. So I had to really get low. Not really that much low because he's already tall. Caught him in the stomach. Boom. And if you see on the play, he gets up and drops the ball like that as a first down. But if you continue watching it, he kind of, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Had to get that one. B-side 5 for real. Little brother you love tap, that's all.
No doubt about it.
Marvin, pick it up, sir. What do you have for Landon?
So how are those shoulders feeling right now?
Oh, awesome. Ready to go. Once I
give it about 10 more years. That's when they start to hurt when you get to 40.
All right, hey, look. I don't want to get there yet. I don't want to get there yet, but I heard from a lot of the players. They feeling it. They feeling it.
I can tell you all about it. So, what was the highlight of your career? Did it come in college or did it come in the NFL? And if so, which one?
The highlight of my career?
Yeah.
I couldn't even pick an instance, honestly. My whole career path going to where I am now is not a time where I wasn't appreciative of it. Didn't work my tail off for it. Every segment from high school, getting to college, from college, working my tail off to get into the NFL and working off my tail to make a name in the NFL. So it wasn't a time that I could specifically say where it was. It just, as the timeline went, I just enjoyed every moment of it.
Well, I can tell you this. I always enjoyed watching you play college and NFL, brother. You made Sci-Fi proud. I give you that one.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Wear that Bama proudly.
Man, there it is. Now, you started out your career at Bama as a safety, and then you started working your way down into the box. NFL did a great job playing the safety position, and then eventually turned into a linebacker. And like you said, you're waiting on that phone call right now. Now, as a gifted safety and a gifted athlete, you made the change to linebacker.
I didn't make the change to linebacker.
That was my question. They made you make the change to linebacker.
They asked me if I wanted. They asked me if I can play linebacker for them. I didn't want to, but I just did it for them because they asked.
Now, going back to it, are you going back to your safety position, or are you going to stay at the linebacker spot?
So I'm versatile. So defensive can have a dime, all that. So I can do all that at the linebacker position. Playing in that dime position, I playing in that dime rabbits position, stuff like that. But lining up in base as a linebacker, I'm good. I'm good. I
Hey,
did that with the Giants. It wasn't for me. Them boys got their hands on me, and it was over with. Because you understand, I'm still 220, 222 in
Right.
the box. Most linebackers are what, 230 and above?
Yeah.
it's a
I'm,
different ball game
it's
in
a
that
different
box,
world
baby.
in there. It is a
Hey,
different world.
it's different when they don't know that you coming down the box. They can't find you.
Correct. They
But
can't
when they
find me.
start,
I'm not accounted for. You're very
there you
correct.
go.
And I
Once
love
they
that.
count you and that guard start pointing at you, you're like,
Yep.
man, dang it, I
Yep.
gotta go take this dude off.
I'm trying to find their first step, the quickest step to where they're going and beat them there every time. I mean, I have the speed to do it, but if I don't get that step, it's over with for me. And it
Yeah,
was, I mean,
Now,
I learned that easily in the Minnesota game one time, and the tackle reached me. And he had already had an angle on me, and when I mean he just grabbed me and we just stood there, I said, "All right, bro, you can let me go, bro. You can really let me
hey,
go."
listen, that's what I was just about to ask you. Did a tackle ever chip and get up to you on that next level? Because that's the worst thing for a linebacker. I used to
Yes.
hate that.
Yes. And thank God people like, respect me and respect the name. He didn't want to tee off on me, but he
right.
had the right to tee off on me if he wanted to. I promise you, he had the right angle. And I'm telling you, 6'8", 300 plus moving. And I was like, when I stepped and he was right there, I said, you got it. But just, you
And,
got
and,
it.
and Steven, I'm gonna let you get this question in, but I'll just make this comment. This is where a lot of the old school guys that say, "Man, you guys are being so soft in the game right now." But that's just respect and understanding that one play you don't need to end my career. I got
Correct.
more to
Yeah,
play, so it's
yeah.
just respect. I'm gonna block you. Listen, young man, get your head around next time because I could really tease you off. Life
Correct.
lesson: you
Correct.
don't have to be injured and can't wake up the next morning just for one hit.
Did you
Yeah, I
put your
got a
hands
family
up
at home,
like the
bro.
police were after you, though?
You have to. You got it.
Yeah. Hey, look, he got me lashed up like this. He got me like the police. I'm hemmed up. I got one arm up like this. I said, bro, you got it. You
You
got it.
got
You got it. I'm
it.
fully extended. His arms are still bent on me. I'm fully extended like this, trying to get him off. It's over with. It's over with. I could not win.
So, Landon, my question, bro, is that 2014 game against Arkansas. Y'all on the road. That game was raining. It was
Uh,
crazy. Nothing could go right. Like you got the
fact.
pick at the end to win it by one. How did
Mhm.
y'all get through that game? Could you explain to me? Because that game had me almost PTSD. How'd y'all get through that?
Honestly, bro, Coach Saban put us in different situations throughout of all the practices, so we was very, we are very prepared for all kind of game situations, as in get the ball back, as in third and short, money down, as in we have to get, make a play to get our offense back the ball, all kind of situations. So, and during that moment, adversity hit us. Nothing was going right for us. Nothing was shaking. The rain was pouring. We couldn't move the ball downfield. On Arkansas, out of all people, we was just like, what the hell is we just shooting ourselves in the foot, causing penalties? I think that was besides last year, I think that was the most penalties we had as a team throughout uh, throughout prior years. In that one game alone. And Nick Saban made an emphasis of it after the game too. So that's how I remember that. But yeah, we just really fighting adversity. We were sticking together as a team. Every play was like turn the page. If it was bad or good, next play, because we have a team that's not supposed to be on the field with us, staying in the game with us, and everything's going that way. But we got to do something to bring that matter, bring that situation back our way. And I'm shit. Thank God. Appreciate everything. I got that pick, and shoot, it took everything over from there.
I love that. I love that. I want to go back to a game not too long after that. Mississippi State was number one in the country. They had the audacity to come into your house with the number one rank and act like they were somebody. Now, we all know what happens when teams begin to struggle a little bit and like to talk a little bit against Alabama. Well, y'all shut them down. Matter of fact, I think Dak Prescott had like 4 or 5 picks, and you had one of those. It's very nice, by the way. Talk to me about what led up to that, and that the week before the practice. What was the mindset, and how fired up were you guys that led to that victory?
Well, the first thing and foremost that people that I don't understand why people do this, but they go up and say we want Bama. Why do you want us? That's just gonna piss us off even more, and that's what it did actually. Honestly, we came in there with a mindset telling them like, and ESPN was hyping them up too. That's another thing, and Coach Cochran at the time had it all on the TVs. All the bullshit that was posted, saying they're gonna beat us. They're the number one team. We can't stop the pass. We can't stop the run. All this can't stop the. What there was a quick pace offense. We can't keep up with the quick pace offense. So they're gonna run the ball up and down field. So all of this adding up, and then the We Walk Bama and stuff like that just added up to the focus, the determination, us standing as a team and going in there and stomping on them. That's really about it.
Who was pissed off more? You were traded to Priest because you flat out leveled Dak Prescott.
We had it out for that. We had it out for that. Put it down. All right. Got it out.
Gotcha. All right. Before I let you go, we got some fans here who wanted to ask you a few questions. If you don't mind indulging the fans, let me go to Tough as Nails. Landon, what did you like the most besides money, college or NFL?
Oh, I love college, honestly, bro. The brotherlyhood that we have down there, the B-Side 5 family we have down there, the atmosphere, as in just the fan base, as in having 108 fans coming to your game each and every week, supporting us. And at the same time, I wake up every morning with these guys and do the same thing each and every day. And it's if you never played NFL or played in NFL, it's more politics after your rookie season. So. That politics and that business world is a totally different world that you have to understand and try to work the process. When you are playing for a team and playing for a school and find an organization that loves you through there and back, and if you don't make it to the NFL, they got a job for you waiting for you after the season. That's them, and that's what I love about that school.
Absolutely. All right. Next one comes from Daniel Petty. Your most satisfying win was at LSU?
LSU, that'd be my LSU in Death Valley. I think I beat them twice in Death Valley. Yeah, it'd be LSU.
All right, understandable. All right, so let's see. Erica Christian, let's go. You kind of answer this question. It has to do with your infamous commitment, but let me kind of piggyback off of that. When did your mom actually and your family finally come around and maybe even said "Roll Tide"?
My dad came. He was all for it. The whole process. He knew where I was going. My mom did too. That she knew where I was going. She came around after I got drafted by the Giants.
Well, game was a good transition. Hold on, Lando. It took her 3 years, bro.
You're on a whole nother team now, so I can forget about them.
yeah, basically.
Wow. Land, how many 5 stars do you have in your family?
5. Well, only one is my brother, Gerald Willis. He's not playing now, but he was the only one. It was just me and him playing football.
A lot of people can't walk around saying my brother's also a 5-star as well too, man. Shout out to your folks.
He went to Edna Carr. He was the first team to win the championship down at LSU with Edna Carr. Yeah.
All right.
Had to get a little bro shout out, man.
Not Florida State. Where he went to Miami. My bad. I said Florida, but in Miami. He went to Miami.
Yeah.
Southern Red, Landon, have any thoughts on our new coach, Kalen DeBoer?
I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's a great coach, a great pick, a great person that's going to be able to fill those big shoes or possibly fill those big shoes that Nick Saban left. But I think he has a sound team, has a sound program. We even got to talk to him. So I like where he's coming from and his leadership for the team, for sure. Yes, I like him.
Piggyback off of that, I see a little bit of you and Malachi Moore. What do you think about Malachi?
That's 13, right?
Yeah, that's 13.
Yes. Tough hitter, coming downhill, playing sound technique. My biggest thing would be just making sure you are communicating with the whole defense, making sure y'all sound, everything is back there, ran smooth as possible. So when y'all playing fast, it's nothing that's going to miss.
All right, good deal. All right. From Big Bill, any Ruben Foster stories? There's a lot of them, but any that stick out?
Keep it PG, man.
I don't got no PG ones, man. I can't. I got no
PG-13 then. PG-13.
PG-13. Ruben was monster, man.
Ooh.
Oh man, let me see. I can't. It's too much. It's too much.
Hold on.
It's
It
too
makes
much.
you
I
feel
can't.
better. Ruben was on our show one day, and he told us about the time he was smoking a cigarette at halftime. And Coach Saban got on to him, telling him how much better he could be if he put them damn cigarettes down.
Man, look, it was worse than that. It was when he called him some cigarettes. I called him,
Yeah.
He's an animal, though. He's an animal. Different breed.
Different monster, bro.
Hold on, Landon. Who got it worse though? Ruben or Tim Williams?
Ooh, Tim. Tim. Coach Saban used to be on his ass. Because Coach Saban, when Coach Saban see the potential in you, he's gonna try to pull it out as much as he can, try to give you all he can because you got it. And shit, Tim had it. He like I said, it's that depth chart, bro. You're behind a lot of great athletes and a lot of great talent. So, the process gets to us and we I can do the same thing he's doing, if not better. Why the hell I'm not on the field? I'm not, you know what I mean? So it's the process that you have to endure through the Bama way. And when you endure that, you're gonna get where you want to get to.
Hey, Justin, I got a story. When the last time that Tim got in trouble, Ragland was a rookie with us in Buffalo. So Rag was hurt that year. So he used to come in my office and eat lunch every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got in trouble, Ryan Anderson called. And Reggie said, listen to me, Tim, get your shit out of whatever apartment that you in, and your ass is living with Ryan Anderson for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And you would think that you thought he would buck because you was on the phone too. He thought that he would buck the system. Tim packed up his bag, called Rag, FaceTime, was like, all right, big bro, I got my bag packed. He's like, take it over Ryan's house.
Yep. They did that for a couple of players. Tim wasn't the only one that happened to, but they did that for a couple of players just to get their mindset right because it got to. We need you. At the end of the day, regardless of the fact, as many players we had on the field, we needed everybody. Everybody had to. If somebody went down, it's the next man up. So you got to know do your job, know what you're supposed to be doing, and when you're supposed to be doing it.
Well, most people don't understand. Most guys who play football ain't really all the way there anyway. You got to be missing something to do this.
That too, and people don't understand that. They think every football player supposed to be knowledgeable or understand. Some football players see ball, get ball, and that's what they're great at. But not in the system. Hey,
fellas, we brought up Tim on the 30 visit, him and Cam. And it's the first time seeing snow. So they out there messing with the snow. I'm like, man, listen, we got to go eat, y'all. It's cold out here. Stop playing with this daggone snow.
Hey, down south. We don't see no snow down south.
That's right.
Matter of fact, we go into the restaurant, Gene Carlos, and we sit down to eat. And it was like, all right, you know what, Tim? I want you to put on whatever you want to listen to. And he said, you know what? I want to listen to DMX. We like, man, you're too young for DMX, bro. You don't know about. You said DMX is my mom's favorite rapper. I looked at everybody and said, guys, this is why he is what he is. Leave him alone.
Dog. Yes. A dog.
Yes. All right. One final question. This is our line in the sand question that we ask all former players and even current players. Best ribs, Archibald's or Dreamland?
I always can remember Dreamland. I can't remember. I don't think I had Archibald's, to be honest with you. I want to say Dreamland. I don't think Archibald's was there when I was there.
Next time you're in Tuscaloosa, hey, listen, send Justin a message. Next time you're in Tuscaloosa, I will order you Archibald's on me.
I'm going to be there for I forgot what it's for, but in September, I think 17th, I got to be there. So definitely I'm going to get some Archibald's.
Actually,
I will get the Archibald's for you.
Yeah, I got the second round on Archibald's too. We got
actually, Landon. It's going to be the weekend of September 7th, the USF game. They're celebrating the 2014 SEC championship game. Coincidentally, we're going to be doing a live show at the Bryant Museum on Friday night. So there's Marvin's offer. You can take him up on it, and you can also be on our show.
I'll be there. I got you.
Pull up.
And I will order all the Listen, just tell me how many slabs I need to get, and I will get them.
I just need
I ain't gonna just get one plate.
Greedy. I gotta watch that. I gotta watch that waistline.
Yeah, he ain't trying to get in the 240 club. They're gonna keep him at will. They're gonna keep him at will of Sam.
I like my stuff to fit nice and nice and loose.
Justin and Stephen M. Smith gonna be there. They good for 5 slabs by themselves, man.
They got it.
Hold
They
on
can keep
now.
5 stabs by themselves. They done.
Hold on
hey,
They
now.
ain't watch
hey.
that waistline no more.
I'm a power lifter. I gotta get protein. But Landon, man, we greatly appreciate you hanging out with us, brother. Taking the time out of your night to do this. Before you head on out, tell the folks how they can find you on social media, then what you got coming up next.
Landon Collins, you guys. Social media is humble the humble _21. That's Twitter and Instagram. Right now I'm just coaching 13U, being an entrepreneur, still training, ready to play football whenever they give me that call. And hopefully you guys see me on the field soon, but I definitely be in Bama soon, rooting them guys on. B-side 5 for life. Roll Tide.
Hey, Coach Collins, I got one question before you go.
What's up?
You're not out there running that old Alabama playbook with these 13-year-olds, are that's too much.
Oh
for
no,
kids.
look, hey, y'all know it. These kids are different. This time and age, they're different. They're not built like we were built back in
Not
the
at
day.
all.
So
Landon, are you in
gotta
VA?
huh?
Are you in Virginia?
Yeah, I'm in Chantilly.
Man, oh damn, that's too. But you know what? I'll be up top. I'm gonna get with you.
Where you gonna be at?
I'll be in Silver Spring on Monday, Silver Spring, Maryland.
Okay,
So that's
bet.
close
Yeah,
to
we
DC.
meet
That's
up.
Northern Virginia. I know where
Yeah,
you at.
we
I'm
meet up.
gonna get
Yeah.
Raglan. We're gonna get together.
Bet, easy money. Yes, sir.
There it is.
All right, brother. Thank you again. Roll Tide.
Roll
Tide,
Tide.
y'all.
Side 5, be good.
Appreciate it.
Man, great interview. Great interview. All right, fellas.
My little brother, man. Good dude, man.
We got one last segment to go. Last week, Smoke, you and Marvin did a fantastic job of breaking down fall camp, the scrimmages, phase by phase. It was a great educational experience for those of us who were the armchair quarterbacks in the audience who don't really understand the inner workings. So I've asked you guys to come back this week and let's talk about the next phase. This is the week before game week. If you would, take the remaining moments before we close out and tell the fans exactly what's going on with the players, the coaches. What are they looking for? What do they want to get out of this last week before the official prep begins?
Well,
go ahead, starts out, Smoke.
Well, I'll take it from the young player to the older players. If you're a freshman or second year guy that truly haven't established yourself as a first, second wave guy or a situational player like a pass rusher, third down back, or your fifth or fourth receiver. Now you got to decide on how you're going to improve yourself, because you might have had that conversation that you had to go sit down with the coach, and the coach is telling you that there's a possibility of you redshirting or you going down to the look team. And when you go down to the look team, the process of going down there is not for you to go down there and dog it, say, man, they think I suck and I can't play. It's honestly for your opportunity to now play against some of the best players in the nation and get better weekly. Now, you're talking about your second wave guys. This last week coming up, this is your chance now to really own in on your position that you're going to play during the year. Like I said, if you're a situational guy, if you're a package guy, start understanding where you are in the package and where you're going to be on that football field. Now, if you're a starter, this is the last week where you start getting ready and start worrying about game planning and making sure that your body is as close as you can to get it back to 100%, because this is where the prehab and the rehab and all the bumps and the bruises, now it's not really time off, but you're getting ready now as close as you can to put yourself in game prep week, because you got to get ready for Western Kentucky and going out there and beating the crap out of the Hilltoppers.
At this point, guys are very anxious. Nerves are running their highest for these next 11 days. It's not till you actually get on that field and you make that first hit that your nerves kind of settle down. Now, with that level of nervousness and anxiety running so high, you have to work through that with your preparation, because, a lot of times when people are nervous and anxiety, they don't prepare as well as they should because their mind is not where it's supposed to be. So this is when you have to lock in the most mentally to get past those nerves and that anxiety to ensure that you are, in fact, doing the job that you're supposed to do. But again, once you go on that field, that first hit, it goes back to the thing you've done your whole life. It's normal. But at this time, man, guys are on edge, man. And because, again, you're getting ready to go play on the biggest stage in college football. Everybody in the nation is watching. So, again, it's a lot of pressure, man. This is that time when that pressure just boils, because who's going to start at this point. I'm that guy. So you've been named that guy. Now you got to go to show the world you're truly that guy. So it's these next 11 days are going to be rough for a lot of guys.
And now I took my general manager and personnel hat off. I'm gonna put my coaching hat on now.
Ooh.
And understanding that we have young players, freshmen. I'm gonna start off with them. This is where you've probably moved out of your dorm that you were in for fall camp, if they still do that, and you got to move back into now your where you're going to stay at for the year. So you have to get ready for now moving back in, understanding that schedule, getting to practice on time because no one's going to come over there and wake you up anymore. And also, you got to start getting prepped for when school starts. And Marvin, when you're a freshman, you probably weren't nervous because you've been on Bama campus so many times, you knew exactly where everything was. But for a person that's never been to a classroom, been around that daggone campus, man, Mook, you don't know how nervous I was going to class. I'm sitting there like, I hope somebody just comes and grabs me and say, hey, listen, Smoke, this is where you're supposed to go. This is how you get there. Make sure you get there this way. Don't park your car where it says facilities parking. And I did that so many times and got booted up. And just having someone to really grab your hand. So for the older guys, just understand the anxiety and just the nervousness that these young players have, especially freshmen that truly don't know how to balance a true schedule of practice, homework, classes, social life, and come back the next day and do it all over again. So it's everything is getting as close as you can to the school year as possible.
And don't
Yes,
forget about
Marvin.
that. Don't forget about that mandatory study hall that they got to
Man,
go to.
hey, you and I aren't. Remember, we made that promise. We signed that contract.
Oh, I wasn't
We
talking
are-
about that. I was talking about these kids.
You and I aren't allowed to say those two words together until we both perish off this earth.
I'm with you, brother. But another thing that a lot of people don't take into account, especially for the older guys, they understand that these first two games you're playing in South Florida and in Western Kentucky. The one thing you don't want to do is start looking ahead to September 14th against Wisconsin. A lot of guys make that mistake. You always want to make sure you're locked in on that opponent you're playing that week, and especially after the way we barely beat South Florida last year. It can happen any Saturday. So again, you don't want to get caught looking ahead. I mean, because that is a mistake you never want to make.
And Mo, you understand that was just a young team, and not understanding that you just came off of a tough game. You got to bounce back. That's just you learn how to prepare.
You learn, but the same thing happened to us when we were in school. We looked ahead on La Tech, and what happened? We lost. So again, you can look ahead if you want to, and we were the SEC champions that year. Beat Florida twice. But
young
again,
immature team.
Exactly. That's what. So you don't want to get caught looking ahead, thinking that a lesser opponent will not knock you off.
Yep.
Good job, guys. Love what you just did there. Before we get to some audience questions, I want to remind everyone the season is only 11 days away. It is time to go to whitwillsports.com and get you a title towel like Mr. Constant has right there. Enter the promo code STANDARD. You get a nice little discount courtesy of your favorite network, the Bama Standard Network. So go ahead and grab your title towel today. All right, folks. I know you've been patient. It's time to get to some of your questions. Let's go ahead and start out with Keith Holcomb with a $4.99 super chat. Not a question, but it says, roll tide about that time, fellas. We coming. Thank you so much, Keith. And then Amber Nicole, do you guys think Coach Saban is going to game plan with the coaching staff weekly this season? He is an advisor. Who wants to take this?
I don't think he will.
No.
I think he's going to let Coach DeBoer be Coach DeBoer. Mm-hmm. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. How you going to be an advisor to someone you don't even know what it's going to look like yet?
I think he will not overstep Coach DeBoer and what he's trying to do. I think the one thing Coach Saban would do, he may get on the phone and talk to Coach Womack and maybe bounce some ideas off Kane. Kane will bounce something off him. That might be the only thing there.
What made Nick have success at Bama was people didn't get in his way.
Right.
And I would just hope that he can respect the new coaches and new regime just to give opinion when needed or when asked. But there's times that you just gonna have to let the young babies or the young people go ahead and fail forward and learn, because he had to do that as well too. Because I'm pretty sure that he didn't call the guy that was there before him. because he wasn't going to get no good advice either.
None. All right, we kind of talked about this before we jumped on air. Trainwreck 70. You think that Rodgers leaves now that Dear is here? Steven, you want to take this?
No, I don't see it. I think that they both sign. They both come in. You're going to have a dynamic tandem of a duo in that backfield. Just because Dear is in here, that's not going to force Rodgers out. And I'm going to say this. The reason why it's not, Quay Russaw playing. Quay Russaw and James Smith, them two kids from Carver, because Anthony Rodgers is from Carver. So with Anthony seeing what Quay is doing out there and what James is doing out there, that's going to hold Anthony Rodgers in place.
Yeah, if I could give any advice to young people out there that's making these decisions and running away from the ability to truly compete and afraid of competition, if you're going to a top 10 program, I won't even say 5, and there aren't players coming in there to compete with you and to push you, there's no way that you're going to get better. Iron sharpen iron. The only way that you get better, Landon Collins, first-round pick by the New York Football Giants, just told you, when I got there were people already in front of me. That's what made me want to go there, to make sure that I am one of the better players and I can refine my skills against the best in the best environment. So if you're running from competition, I would just say go to a FBS program somewhere where you have a whole bunch of names in front of the true school. But if you really want to go compete and own up and get yourself better and develop your craft, you go somewhere where you're going to be challenged daily. So when on Saturdays, it's fun to you. During the week, it's work to you.
Just know you go to one of these schools where there's not a lot of competition. More than likely, you're finna get beat like a drum every Saturday.
Mook, some of these kids don't care about winning.
But you might not care about winning, but if you're outmanned and you don't have a D-line or you don't have linebackers that can play to your level, your stats are not going to show your true ability.
At all.
Mook, and I said I ain't going to take too much. Some of these kids wasn't raised right. They weren't raised and it's nothing bad. They weren't raised in the sense of understanding that, because I had to explain it to my son the other day. He does jiu-jitsu and he's getting moved up to the big kids class 2 years ahead of him. And the first thing he wants to tell me is, Dad, I think I'm going to lose. I said, good. You have to learn how to lose to understand how to win. If you show up somewhere every single time and you're the best, I've seen that. It don't work out well for you. You have to at some point develop some calluses and develop a way to overcome some type of difficulties in your life to survive on this earth. And to truly thrive, you have to be worse than the person in front of you so you can eclipse to the top.
He's going to thank you for that when he gets older.
Amen. All right, big shout out to Big Bill, $7. Thank you, sir. We greatly appreciate you there. And then we got one final super chat from Don Parker, $10. Thanks for having one of my all-time favorite Bama players on the show. Steven, thanks for asking that question. We know that you had that Millie Jackson bumping in the 8-track today. Roll Tide Roll.
Man,
everybody asking me what the 8-track sound like.
I seen the interior in your car. That ain't no 8-track. That's real life leather, man.
Yeah.
That's a 2020 something. I don't know about 24, but it's 20 something.
Is he in a 76 Continental?
No, I ain't no 76 Continental, man.
Hey, if you got that 76 Continental, I'll buy that from you. That's classic.
No doubt. Folks, we greatly appreciate all
Deacon
of y'all.
got that. I don't got that. Deacon got the 76.
I thought it came with that chair you sitting in, man.
No, it didn't come with it. Didn't come with the chair.
Well, it didn't come from IKEA.
All right.
Folks, we're about to wrap things up. Before we do, I'll remind you of two things. One, September 6th at the Paul W. Bryant Museum at 6 p.m. Central. The Bama Standard will be live. So y'all come in there. Just pack the place out. We did a great job last time. Let's double that. We're going to have some guests. You heard Landon Collins. He said he's going to be on with us. And because of Marvin Constant, Jake Coker will be on with us as well. So you want to check that out. Next week, game week, Marvin Constant will be in an exotic location, so he won't be with us. But that doesn't mean the fun stops. Because of his absence, we're going to double up on guests. We're going to have none other than DJ Hall and Ken Darby on the show. So you definitely want to come and check that out. It's going to be a live show. But listen, before we let y'all go, I want everyone to go around the room, tell the folks how they can find you on social media and what you got coming up next. As always, we will direct it to Marvin Constant. Then we'll go to Stephen M. And then Coach Smoke will close us out.
My man.
Constant 45. It's real simple. My IG, Constant 451, my Twitter. Hey, just hit me up if you got any questions. That's all I got for you today.
Stephen.
You can't find me here. It's touchdownalabama.com. Touchdownalabama.com. We're getting all of the fall camp stuff out right there. Today was the last day of practice viewing. Today was the last day. Tomorrow's the last day of us getting coaches and players because now Coach DeBoer, Kane Womack, they putting the game plan in. Now today, they wouldn't even allow us to watch the defense. So Kane got some stuff he working on because they wouldn't even let us look at the defense. So today, we got a chance to look at the offensive guys. We got a chance to see the kickers for the first time a day. So the kickers look pretty good kicking them field goals. But Kane's got some stuff he's working on. But yeah, tomorrow will be the last day of media viewing as far as interviews. They getting ready for game prep.
So you're gonna be on that green tarp like this tomorrow.
Look, man, I tried to do it today. They wouldn't let me.
I thought you could see through that green tarp, man.
Look. I did see through enough to check out King Mac, though.
There you go. There you go. And if you want to hear more about that, y'all tune into the Crimson Dynasty tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Central. Stephen M. Smith will be on there, the first part of the show, to give you a breakdown of everything that he saw and he was hiding from the rafters and taking pictures of. So, Smoke.
Listen, you can find me at Coach GV Dixon on X and on Instagram. Check in, lock in with me, Ben. I usually have plenty of content and good information out there to share, Ben. Just log on, join, and just holler at me. If you got something, DM me. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna hit you right back on time, but I'll get back here at 8 time and we can get that done. Hey, listen, we got DJ and Ken. Listen, Ken got some bad stories for me, Mook. I might just be coming off with you. And hanging out with you. Justin, I used to terrorize Darby and daggone Bino, Ramsey Robinson.
I heard a lot of those stories, sir.
Oh,
we're going to talk about that before next week. But
listen, no. Chris Camp was like, "Where's Steve Brown when you need him?"
All right, folks. Before we head out, I remind everybody very soon, as in 8 minutes, the final whistle is going to be starting on this channel. Y'all stay tuned for that. But that'll do it for all of us here at the Bama Standard. Till next week, roll tide.
Roll tide.
Rolling.